TCM Health Betterment for August 2025. This time around is correct. So this is me, Dr. Clement Ng. Although those are new to me, I'll introduce myself in a short while. So this is my company, TCM and you, and allow me to introduce myself to those who are new. And chances are all of you also know me. I'm a TCM practitioner, but I'm not a first career TCM practitioner. My first career is an engineer by trainings, and subsequently operate in a corporate world for a couple of years, about 20 over years. And now I'm into the TCM industry. To me, TCM industry is more than just practitioner providing treatment services. Chinese medicine go beyond treatment. And that's the reason why I make it a point to share with all of you about what's coming. And the company that I'm currently operating in, TCM and you, with the initial objective of just what you need to know about TCM and you to become a beautiful you, stronger you, calmer you, smarter you, and healthier you. So I have put in place a series of programs, indoor trainings, treatments, and my product will be on the way. By next month, the first product will be in the market. I'll let all of you know more about that product. It's a tea. So this is where, how can you learn and use Chinese medicines? The wisdom of that has been passed on for generations for a couple of thousands of years to help yourself as we enter aging populations. So today's program, beginning of autumn approaches, nourish in rhythm, prevention as priority. So this is a TCM Seasonal Wellness Advisory for Singapore and the regions. So the agenda will be as follows. Learn about how seasonal climatic changes impact our health, and we are part of the elements. For those that join my fundamental class, Chinese medicine is a very humble medicinal system, meaning every one of us, we are part of the elements. We are not beyond the elements. We are between heaven and earth. Something changes, will affect us. So what happens when the climate change? So what you can do for the coming months, and I'll take the opportunity to give a course review of what upcoming courses and some of my other latest discussion. So introduction, since our last connection in the early May, during the solar term beginning of summer, we have journeyed together through summer solstice, minor heat and major heat. So you have noticed that the weather is getting hot, hot, hot. And now currently we are in major heat still. And this particular area, as previously discussed, the month of May to July brought highly variable weather, extreme heat, interspersed with thunderstorm and unpredictable gusty winds, and characteristic of Singapore's inter-monsoon seasons. So we are currently going through this period, And many of you here may come across situations such as eczema, itchiness, even a sudden surge of hypertension. All these are part and parcel of the condition that is unique to the weather that we are currently in. And I always tell my patients, those who suffer from eczema, bear with it. Itchiness, bear with it. In a couple of days' time, it should be over. Because the underlying condition of why you are suffering an itchiness condition from a TCM perspective, you have what we call a blood deficiency. But the conducive factor, the factor that triggering your current discomfort, is the dampness and heatiness, which is present in the area where we are in the summer area in Singapore. So now the beginning of autumn is draw near. It's about a couple of days' time. It's time to prepare both body and mind for a new season. So I'm pleased to bring you this timely traditional Chinese medicine advisory on health preservations, betterment aligned with natural rhythm. So I always advocate the importance of knowledge and skills. So that's where every one of you here are attending my courses, or you are going to attend my courses. And I'm fully supportive for SkillsFuture. I have more than 30 SkillsFuture approved courses. Under my own company, I have 10. And beyond my company, I partner with many partners where I have more than 30 SkillsFuture approved courses. So to me, knowledge and skills are important. And why am I dedicating my time in health? It's because if you are healthy, your knowledge and skills is a multiplying effect. You can have everything that you want. Everything we want to get it with the health, you can either build it, you can enjoy it. But what happens in the event when you are not healthy? Whatever you have is technically nothing. I see many healthy individuals eventually become unhealthy. And I like to highlight a very important statement that a fit individual and a healthy individual are two different things altogether. There are many individuals claim that they are very fit with all the muscle in them, but they are not technically not healthy. So what exactly is health? It's something to be explored and understand. And in the aging populations, as we age, with the smaller family size that we are having, relying on the children to take care of us, 养儿防老 is a myth. So you take personal responsibility. So I have to highlight the TCM grading in the term of what considered a good practitioner. I highlight here, a superior healthcare practitioner, a good practitioner, prevent illnesses. So we talk about health betterment, maintenance of health, take precautions, disease prevention as priority. We learn, aware of changes around us, so that eventuality won't come. A mediocre healthcare practitioner attains the impending illnesses, where you observe some changes. Early intervention with preventive medicines, observe gradual changes and treat illnesses during the onset. And an inferior healthcare practitioner treats actual illnesses. So treatment of illnesses when symptoms occur, manage a illness condition and prevent further complications. This is what we call evidence-based. I'm never against evidence-based, but I want to highlight that when things become evidence, it's already the end stage of a prolonged deficiency. So I advise every one of you to sign on with Healthy ASG. There's a very good initiative of the Singapore government to bring us back to mediocre healthcare practitioners. And to me, I want to advocate superior training, awareness of health that eventually some of us will seek. That's something that we have to acknowledge, that nobody can be healthy forever. So how can we mitigate this and make sure that the remission period or the time from health to sub-health can be extended as long as possible? So I have designed this program under the SkillsFuture. This series of program, Essential TCM Skill for Health and Wellness Practitioner, has been in running since 2020. And I'll just highlight a very important fact. Some of you may have already received many reminders that a lot of your SkillsFuture credit is expiring. So the 500 one-time top-up SkillsFuture credit given to Singapore citizen age 25 plus in 2020 will expire by 31st December 2025. Let the relative and friends know. There are 200,000 Singaporeans overseas. They are also entitled to SkillsFutures. And that's the reason why all my courses are online. So they can always find some times. If you don't know what to learn, as I mentioned before, learn something about health. So this is where my series of programs are aligned in this way: fundamental, understand meridian knowledge and skills, basic acupressure massage, basic medical diet. You can take each and every of the module, or you can go through the series of programs. My courses are supported by SkillsFuture as well as by UTAP, NTUC. So yeah, you member, if you in the event that you use up your SkillsFuture credit, you can still make use of the UTAP to tap and claim 50% of what you have invested in your health knowledge. So this is some other program. I'll later explain more. So let's talk about TCM approaches to health betterment. Chinese medicine, as highlighted in the grading of a healthcare practitioner, we advocate prevention to prevent before disease strike. This prevention is very important. While it sounds to a lot of people, I'm healthy now, why should I pay attention to health? The question is the fact is healthy now, you should make sure you stay healthy. And that's where prevention comes into play. Understanding that we are part of the elements. You don't challenge the elements. So you live with the element will take care of you. The heaven and earth, we call it. And in the event of some changes in the body, to interception before pathological changes, interceptions. Like in my many courses I share, if you are hypertension, if you are high cholesterol, if you are diabetic, this condition won't kill you. You just have to manage it well, continue to take your medication, observe any subtle changes, then you can stay and coexist for many years to come. But however, you choose not to appreciate or understand or the implication of complications, Then what happens is when there's a pathological changes, that's where things become nasty. For example, for stroke, we are looking at 26 stroke on average every day in Singapore. And the leading cause to stroke, we talk about hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetics, stress, obesity, and all these conditions. If you are able to manage the underlying condition well, the eventuality of a stroke, a non-traumatic incident, neurological incident may not happen. So that's an idea of how to intercept before pathological changes. And the important thing is to nourish after recover from disease. This is a very important, as I highlight the stroke case again. There are 10 leading reasons why a person may have a stroke. But after the stroke, does it mean that the 10 reasons disappear suddenly? It doesn't. So the question is, if the person don't take active involvement to mitigate the previous condition that trigger what you have, the eventuality of having another stroke is possible. Because A plus B equal to C, A plus B don't change, C is a constant. So to nourish after recover from disease, as we look around us, there are many people out there already suffering multiple COVID. So the idea of never fall in the same place twice is what is important here. To nourish, understanding what is lacking to strengthen along the way. And that is where we talk about Chinese medicine and maybe Ayurveda or even homeopathy may be useful. So all these have been done from TCM perspective by looking into the season and timing, the locality, and individuals. So this is a science of TCM. Nobody on earth is the same. You are me, you, me, and I myself in a way. Nobody on earth is the same. Somebody in China, somebody in Korea, somebody in US, somebody in Singapore. We are not the same because the locality changes. We are not the same. So the important when it comes to diet recommendation is always this important element of who am I, where am I, and when am I. So this sharing today is talk about when, the season. So I will share with you according to season and timing, locality and individuals in the area of season. So I'll share this idea called solar terms. When I talk about solar terms, for those who are new to Chinese medicine or new to the herbal diet concept, every 15 days, there's a change in weather. And it's something that you may not be fully appreciate, but after this class, you may be able to understand more about this, respecting the fact that we are part of the element. And this solar term concept has been in the way inscribed under the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. And the 24 solar term knowledge in China of time practices developed through observation of the sun and the motions, inscribed in 2016 on the representative list of Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. They call it Fei Yi. So what is this? This is what we mentioned here, the solar terms. We are now currently operating, looking at these particular seasons. The date is about plus minus 1 day. So this year is going to start on 7th of August. So I bring your attention to this particular aspect, this area. You notice that it's called 处暑, end of heat. While we are feeling hot right now, it's getting cooler in a way. The raining is here, so we are entering signs of autumn, slightly cooling. But you turn hot again before it turn actually cooler. So this is something to take note of. Starting from August 23, you'll become hot again for about 15 days. So this is a solar term in terms of the tables. And you're given all this list. And to highlight this aspect, in Singapore is 1 degree north. So while we are in the way, our weather pattern follow that of the northern hemisphere. Something happened along the way, will change. In the northern hemisphere now it's very hot, and we are experiencing the same hotness, but the weather will turn cooler soon. So the seasonal update they're going to touch on the lingering heat that we are still having, and there will be emerging dryness. So what happened in the coming month? What are the things to focus in? Is to address dryness. So the beginning of autumn falls this year on the 7th August 2025. So this is where we talk about Li Qiu, 7th August. And it's a 13 of the 24 solar terms in the Chinese calendar. So in this particular aspect, what happened during this particular area time in the next 3 months? Despite its name, the autumn coolness remained elusive in Singapore tropical setting. So because we are 1 degree north. But instead, this period marks the conversion of lingering summer heat with increasing atmospheric dryness. How dry has it become? Later I share with you. So according to the season, many of those who are living around the equator like Singapore always commented that they don't experience 4 seasons. But however, that depending on where you are, north or south of the line, the general weather pattern follow that hemispheric seasonal changes. And now we are basically sharing with you what happened in the last 30 years in Singapore. So this is basically the chart. If you notice the trend, it basically mirror that of the northern hemisphere. And we are looking at this particular season now. Symptom our body responds significantly to changes in the weather. And what happened now is that according to Singapore 2025 weather forecast, while preparing this particular report, the next 2 months will continue to experience the effect of southwest monsoon. So what happened to southwest monsoon start to blow? The P fire, the haze that is currently burning in the Sumatra area, they will be coming. Okay, with the daytime temperature rising to 33 degrees or more, and a gradual shift toward a drier air. So in addition, hotspot for the forest fire in the nearby region like Sumatra and Kalimantan may give rise to haze episodes starting the late August and possibility persisting into October. So the heat and the dry season will come. And to give you the perspective of what happened last year, 15th of September 2024, in the photo I took at the Singapore Reservoir of September 15, the water level was noticeably lower. So you expect similar situation in the coming months. So save your water if you can. While saving your water, when you go out, please always bring a water bottle with you. The weather will turn dry. And when it turns dry, some part of our body will be affected. So what are TCM perspective? The lung fears dryness. Emotion easily affected during this particular season. So from a TCM perspective, this complex climate, humid yet dry, hot yet shifting, can significantly impact our respiratory and emotional health. And many people were experiencing morning dryness in their throat and a dry cough without phlegm. And we call this Qiu Zao. This is the autumn dryness symptoms. You may start to having this condition starting this couple of days because our body react quite significantly. And what happened during this season as well, from the perspective of the 5 element theory, wood, fire, earth, metal, water. And the 5 element, internally, all our organ vital system associate with one of the elements. So in TCM, the 5 element theory, the lungs belong to the metal element and correspond with autumn. So this is the seasons. So what happened now? The lungs prefer moistness and are harmed by dryness. So as the weather turns dry, the lung will be affected. So those with this understanding, if you are those who already understanding with your, if you are those who are suffering from upper respiratory system condition since young, those who are prone to cough, prone to asthma, it's about time you take precautionary measure. So they govern the breathing, regulate water metabolism, and are the body first line of defense against external pathogens. So when external weather turns dry, lung will suffer first. So lung in nourishment is very important in this aspect. So what happens now is when they're attacked by dryness and haze, lung qi can be inhibited and result in dry, itchy throat, hoarse voice. We start to see patients of this condition coming to the clinic. Nasal dryness, dry cough without phlegm. This afternoon I have one case like that. No phlegm, but there's dryness, cracked and tight skin or dry lips. So take note of yourself how to moisten from within. You may apply whatever cream that you have, But in TCM perspective, the fundamental substance nourishment is from within. When internally good, the fundamental substances, the essence, the qi, the blood, the fluids are good, you will definitely look good. And depressive mood or sense of melancholy may be something to be take note of. Why? Because in the season, as stated in the Huangdi Inner Classic of Medicine, Yellow Emperor Classic of Medicine, grief disperses qi. So in the event of emotionally, autumn relate to grief and letting go. So what happened now? When the environmental dryness is paired with emotional stagnation, imbalance may manifest physically and mentally. So hence, protecting the lung also means for nurturing our emotional resistance. Because why? Emotional stress. As the day progresses, the daylight time will gradually shorten as the day progresses. There's a tendency for people to develop a state of depression. This is an autumn season. I always like to ask this question. When you walk in the park, when there's observed a leaf drop from the tree, do you feel anything? I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. Some say yes, some say no. But the answer is, whether you feel anything, the leaf will fall anyway. So the idea is, all emotions are from internal. So just be happy, and the world will be a happy world. So prevention is priority, dietary, lifestyle adjustment, something to take note of. So I always advocate health betterment approaches as a daily something you can do for yourself. The highest level of healing is preventing illness before it arises. So that's the reason why I prompt me to continue to share this talk. And I always try to find something new to talk. I have always stressed the importance of disease prevention and how weather changes affect our health and based on different body constitution. Because health betterment as a daily activities. Like for example, those who attend my course, you always hear me saying that I comb my hair 200 times a day. I massage my face at least twice a day. So it's something it's a daily activities. Eat accordingly. And health, everyone needs to take responsibility for their own health. So nobody owe you your health. And I just completed a stroke course. I always tell my students, 1 in 4 of us eventually may have a stroke. This is a statistical numbers. In the unfortunate situation when it occurs, please be the person who tell the world that I want to recover. Because when they come across a stroke victim, a patient, everybody outside the patient can only assist. And only the person himself and herself take personal responsibility to regain the mobility. So this is something you should be aware of while we are still healthy right now. So something to take note of. And we talk about prevention as priority. So during the transitional seasons, the key is to nourish in, moisten the lung. So as I highlight, going forward, the weather will turn hot and dry. The rain will start to get less and less. That will be the fact. And the ground getting hotter and hotter. So dry, nourish in, moisten the lung. Replenish fluid to combat any dryness. So drink water. But bear in mind that when you drink water, water remains water until it's been processed by the internal organ system. So you have to understand and take something that nourish in. And strengthen the spleen and the boost qi, especially in constitutionally weak individuals. So while this is situation of going forward, being dry, being hot, there are higher incidence of external pathogenic condition. For example, it may prompt to flu because of the lung being dry, you start to have cough. And at the same time, begin to consolidate young energy for the seasonal change ahead. As we enter autumns, the weather will turn cooler and cooler. And the next update will be early November. By then, it will be the beginning of winter. And many people by then will start to feel coldness, heaviness of their limbs. So while before you enter the next season, now keeping warm is also something to be aware of. So let me share something that you can use at home, medicated diet. So when it comes to medicated diet, recommended medicated diet for today's sharing are as follows: lily bulb, white fungus, lotus seed, soup, honey stew, pear, astragalus, yam, congee. We have this particular herb, granule, and polygodum, lean pork soup. This particular herb is called sharshan in another name. So these are the recommended formula. We have already highlighted in the article sent to all of you. So what we have here is lily bulb, 15 gram, white fungus, 10 gram, lotus seeds, 10 gram, rock sugar. Something to take note when it comes to this particular recipe is, for the lotus seed, you have to remove the core because we are preparing what we call a dessert perspective. So this has to be something of the sweet side. The lotus seed core is considered bitter, but you don't throw it away. You can keep it aside. The lotus seed core itself is very good as a medicine by itself to calm an individual down in the event that we have what you call palpitation. So this simple formula here, recipe here, nourishes yin, moisten the lung, relieve cough. So this can be a very good dessert during these seasons. You can take it every week if you want. And that's taken mid-afternoon as a light cooling tonic or a dessert. Next, what we have here is called a honey stew pear. It's quite easily prepared. Get a pear. Any type of pear will do. Cut into half the core and place some honey on it and you steam. Clear dryness, moisten the lung, stop cough. If you come across individual out there telling you to take a pear when you're suffering a cough, please take note that you should take a cooked pear, a steamed pear. If you ever take a raw pear, your cough will aggravate because coldness is the main driver that leading to cough. So you should be boiling the pear and a cooked pear nourish ink. So this is something to take. Serve warm, avoid on an empty stomach. Next is called the astragalus yam congee or yam porridge. And this is an evergreen that I always share. Astragalus is a herb that I took almost every day to strengthen the body. This particular ingredient here is 10 gram, 30 gram. Astragalus used for what we call the typical medicated diet dosage for the whole family is less than 5 gram, between 2 gram to 5 gram. Beyond 10 gram is basically for treatment purposes. So this simple recipe here help to tonify the spleen, qi, and boost immunity. So for individuals who are, as I mentioned, during this period of time, they may be those who have upper respiratory system condition, underlying upper respiratory system condition, you may like to consider strengthen yourself first before things become too dry. Yams itself nourishing yin, so it's good. So breakfast, dinner for those with weak constitutions. So you can always introduce this tool into your rice. You may not need to place such a high dosage here, but it's always good to be a continuous kind of nourishment. As for the next herbs, it's called sharshan, granule, polygodum with lean pork. This particular herbs, they typically come as a pair. The granule and the polygodum, 10 gram each. This particular formula is typically used for post-fever, post-cough. Apricot kernel and lean pork. So moisten the lung, nourish in clear, dry heat. So these are the benefits here. As I mentioned, post-fever, post-cough. Why post-fever? Many of us will take something like paracetamol in the Western medicine, or in Chinese, call it 银翘解毒片 for the addressing the fever. Both this medicine induce perspirations. It is through perspirations that the fever temperature come down. But when they induce too much perspiration, they may induce and cause the body to become dry. That's the reason why many individuals out there always suffer cough after fever. That is not because of the illness, more because of the overconsumption of those fever-lowering medicine, be it Chinese, be it Western medicines. So this formula here is especially good for post-fever, post-cough, or post-cough, post-COVID cough. So moisten the lung, nourish the yin. For those that noticeable dry cough, skin dryness, or frequent throat irritation, you can take 1 to 2 times per week. So something you can consider. These are all quite nice to eat. And for acupressure massage, I always recommend acupressure massages because our hand is one of the perfect tools that you can help yourself. If you know how to massage, pushing, for example, this simple action that you're pushing along LI floor, it's basically we call it second metacarpal bone reflexology. Your whole body is being massaged. And for this season, I'm recommending the following points: 鱼际 lung, 迎香 large intestine, 太渊 lung, 足三里 stomach. So these are the 4 acupoints that will be useful during this particular season. I'll explain to you why. Each point can be gently pressed for 1 to 2 minutes, morning and evening, to reinforce lung function and overall balance. For the first acupoint, you call it the 鱼际 LU10. It's the number 10 acupoint on the lung meridians. It's at the base of the thumb. So as you can see in this red dot here, we'll trace all the way down, right at the middle of this first metatarsal bone. Pardon me. I need a break for a while, so that when I do the editing, I can cut. So when I come to the base, there's this first metacarpal bone. Right at the middle, you should find a depression. And that is the point. At the base of the thumb, at the depression on the first metacarpal bone. This particular point is very useful. It clears the lung, heat, moisten, dryness, ease, cough. If you were to press the point, for example, I'm a public speaker, I press. As I press, you can try it now, your throat will start to salivate. So when I'm conducting a talk sometime, talking for too long, without access to water. So what if I put my hand together and just press? I can press the point and just rotate my thumb. Then you start to swallow saliva and you start to clench your teeth. This is called producing fluid internally. 生津止渴. When I'm very thirsty, I drink water, it doesn't immediately quench my teeth. This one can. It can clear lung heat, moisten, dryness by pressing the point. It induces the body to produce fluid. So I can gently press for 1 to 2 minutes, morning or evening, or as and when you need it. So this is a very key acupoint for anyone who talk a lot, like me, talk a lot. Next acupoint, Yin Xiang Li 20. The last acupoint of the large intestine meridian. First of all, the large intestine meridian, large intestine, and the lung, they are symbiotic pair. They both belong to the metal elements. This acupoint is beside the nostril, by the side of the nostril, right here. So this acupoint open the nasal passages, relieve congestions. So for those who are prone to sinusitis, blocked nose, nasal congestions, what you can do using the edge of your index finger, you rub. When you rub down, you use strength. So you massage for 1 to 2 minutes every morning and evening. For those who attended my acupressure massage class, in the facial massage, there's a part where I do this. I will send you the video of the entire facial massage if you are keen. I mean, as part of the continued update of this material. So massage here, 迎香, welcome fragrance. The name itself in Chinese, English direct translation, welcome fragrance. The next acupoint, 太渊, with wrist crease radial pulse point. This point is just at the base where you trace your thumb. The meridian of the lung go to the thumb. So it traces all the way to the wrist. At the base of the thumb, there's a wrist, there's a depression here. This depression, for those who ever go for TCM treatments, this is a point where the index finger of the practitioner will be pressing. And this point corresponds to the LU9, the principal point of the lung. It tonifies the lung qi, regulate respiratory functions. There's one simple action I share in my so-called layman acupressure class. Just wrap around your wrist and your always rotate. If you don't know which point to press, rotate here. Teach your elderly in your family when they have nothing to do, just rotate their wrist. Mom to their wrist, rotate their wrist. This is a simple function to nourish many acupoints along the wrist. You have 6 acupoints along the wrist, just wrap around it. So tonify the lung qi, regulate respiratory functions. And gently press for 1 to 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, morning and evening. And the next acupoint, 足三里. This is the most infamous or the famous acupoints that you need to know. And this acupoint below the kneecap, lateral to the shin bone. This is a layman term. On the side of the leg, on the outer side, you are advised to pat, or you can consider a scraper. This is a scraper. You always scrap by the side. It helps to strengthen the spleen, boost immunity, and vitality. This acupoint, if you massage it well, is like taking ginseng, black chicken, if you call it. It often called the longevity point. Regular pressure enhance overall resistance to seasonal changes. So this is an evergreen acupoint. Everybody are encouraged to massage this acupoint. And personally, 99% of the clinical case when I do acupuncture, I will apply this acupoint. There are 1% because of the other situation we don't apply. So this one, gently press for 1 to 2 minutes in the morning and evening. Managing the hay seasons, we are told the season, this time round, most likely it will come again. Because of the developmental agricultural activity are all starting around us. So when the southwest monsoon blows, haze will come. So is haze harmful? It sounds naive. But from TCM perspective, the haze enters the body through the mouth and nose, enveloping the entire body. And the lungs govern the skin and the body hair, oversee respiration, and both the skin and the mouth and the nose directly encounter the haze. So what happened? So this can lead to conditions like chest fullness, wheezing, and itchy skin. So for those with respiratory conditions, it is advisable to take more proactive preventive measures. Improve their condition and boost the immune systems. You are told that you will come. Please believe that you will come. And just take care of yourself. There's nothing to lose anyway, right? So understand this. So if haze condition emerge, please observe the following precautions. Monitor the PSI, PM25 level from the Singapore National Environmental Agency. All of us will receive notification anyway. So this is quite accurate. Every morning, I will observe the rain because every Sunday morning I have an event. I have a Qigong class, open air. So I must monitor whether rain or not rain. If rain, I rest that day. Anyway, when the haze really comes, avoid outdoor activities during early morning and evening because it's an accumulation over the period of time. Wear a certified N95 mask when outdoors. So this is where does a surgical mask sufficient? To a certain extent, yes, but the PM 2.5 are definitely finer than the surgical mask. So if really get out there, if the haze really get bad, stay in house. And now since the haze is going to be coming and the air is going to be dry, you may like to stock up your humidifier, repair your aircon. All these things have to be prepared first. And use indoor air purifier to ensure good ventilations. So this is the time you can stock up before people start buying. Hydrate frequently to maintain respiratory function, respiratory moisture. And in the event where it become more serious, seek medical advice in symptoms like chest tightness, persistent cough, and eye irritations. But wearing a mask is something that I encourage every one of you to continue practice this. COVID still in the air. Whenever I board the plane, now, when at the moment I step into the lounge, I wear a mask. In the clinic, I also wear a mask. I mean, some situation where I don't wear, but most of the time I wear a mask. So, and there are something to highlight also, diet. Daily diet should include food that moisten dryness, generate fluids such as pear, lily bug, white fungus, red dates, water chestnut, honey, monk fruit, and you may consider bird nest. Bird nest standard will be announced within these seasons. By October, there will be a Singapore bird nest standards. You should heard it from the mass media, by the way. So what's the bird nest? Bird nest is a saliva of a swallow. It's a saliva of an animal. It's a processed item by a particular bird. So what it means is, we as humans, we as animals, will be able to effectively harness this particular benefit of the bird nest. Sweet, neutral, it enters the lung, stomach, and the kidney. It nourishes the lung in, stomach in the overall constitution of individuals. So now just move on to why I focus in health and not wealth. Because a lot of people equate wealth equal to health equal to wealth. But this equation is never equal. Because without health, whatever you have is gone. Unless you're very, 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 very rich. Then you may be able to buy some health. I mean, I do come across very wealthy individuals. It does help, but the more important thing is stay healthy. And by the way, 80 years old is very young nowadays. My father is 85 years old. My most senior patient now is 98 years old. So 80 years old, still young. So let's move on to important thing about ending this class. Mastering the knowledge and skills in health betterment is the best gift you can give yourself, your family, and your friends. As I highlight and share these statements, if you are parents to somebody, you stay healthy, your children will be very happy. If you are children to some parents, if you are healthy, your parents will be very happy. So the idea is, why don't you make everybody happy by staying healthy? So these are my courses. So I hope to have more friends to come and learn the methods in health betterments. And why not if you are being, in a way, given the grant to do so? So SkillsFuture Credit approved courses. These are my program. You can consider. These courses are supported by SkillsFuture and UTAP. And you can use both the SkillsFuture and UTAP for the course. So these are the program I share with you. And in the September, there'll be this fundamental class. You're welcome to attend this as a first course. But you can attend any other courses. Thereafter, I encourage all of you to study the fundamental. This is to learn the language of TCM. Chinese medicine has been around for more than 5,000 years. And history is a very cruel process. Anything that is of no relevance to humankind will be eliminated by history. And why are we still talking about it? The question you raise, is this suitable for this, is this suitable for that, is because of your ignorance or not aware of what this is all about. Because we humans are part of the elements. When we take something, This is more based on constitutions. A man meets another man poisons. When it comes to suitability of a particular food, first of all, the question is who am I? In general, we talk about herbs, medicines from a different perspective. So this fundamental class share with you about the why we use yin and the yang. Yin and yang don't belong to Chinese medicine. They belong to the ancient wisdoms of Chinese. When you talk about five elements give us a perspective of relationship among different systems. Like for example, internally, beyond this piece of skin, which is the biggest organ for the modern medicine perspective, internally, all systems are interrelated, interdependent, and they are pathologically inter-influencing. It's naive to say that I can solve one problem and not affect another problem. So something in our body, and they're all connected. And for example, I cough. Is a cough a lung problem? Answer is no. It can be a stress cough. It can be a liver cough. It can be a spleen cough. All this will trigger a person having a manifestation of the symptoms. So this is where in the fundamental class, we look into the relationship and how we diagnose. And then we look into the women's health class. This is an interesting course because I have a class called TCM for men. And that course has been approved since 2016. And I'm only able to open or commence in 4 runs. Why? Because men never admit that they need help. And why a special course for women? Because women have a unique characteristic profile that men don't have. You have the period, the menstruations, the lack of here, the pregnancy, the delivery, the what we call the menopause, and all this make a woman very complete and very complex as well. So there's a saying, if you can solve a woman's problem, the man's problem is given. So if you are keen to learn more about who you are, this course is for you. This course is for men, for women, and for men who love their women. And this program on the basic TCM medical diet is to learn how to eat according to who am I, where am I, what time of the season I'm in, and what kind of illnesses I may have. So the question you raise, which profile of individual may not be good for bird nest? The idea is, if you are currently already suffering for prolonged dampness in your body, then you're not supposed to consume something that's rich in yin. So that's about it. If you are a very fat individual with a lot of dampness in you, you are not supposed to eat bird nest. And anybody else, you can take bird nest. And the saying of cancer and no cancer, the idea is I don't treat cancer patients. Not because I don't know how to treat cancer patients, it's because it's my choice that to answer a question to you whether this one can cause the other one, I choose not to answer. And if you understand what I mean, I have a YouTube on why I don't treat cancer patients. So anyway, for basic TCM medical diet class is, as I mentioned, knowing the choice of diet on individuals, regional, seasonal factors, and what happened to you currently. And my class on pediatric care, and this is an important class because as a parents, we cannot take care of our children half their life. And every one of us is the first-time father, first-time mother. So you ask a lot of your friends what to do, what not to do. And in the area of artificial intelligence, you may like to ask more. And in this course, it was developed before the artificial intelligence came into play. But nevertheless, we look into how Chinese medicine view the baby from the fetus periods all the way through the 9-month or 10-month. There's no conflict in this. And upon giving birth, what to do during the initial stage and all the way until puberty. So what we talk about that. And you'll learn about the important thing of what I call pediatric massage. The best individual to provide pediatric massage is you, the parents, or you as a guardian. So this is my program under my company. And for those who are keen to attend courses under people associations, I've been a PA trainer since 2006. A lot of people are not aware that Chinese medicine courses has been conducted in English since 2006. I'm one of the first trainer in PA who conduct TCM classes in English. And these are my courses. You can join more than 4,000 participants. So we are 5,000 now, who has already attended my courses under SkillsFuture at PA since 2016. So these are the QR code. And for those who sign up, I'll send this deck to all of you. Come next year, I'm going to run an event to invite all my few thousand participants come back. Many of them already gone. But nevertheless, it will be good for alumni reunion. I'm planning something along that line. I'm looking for some sponsor, if there's sponsor within these groups. But anyway, these are my courses. And if you are keen to learn online courses, there are people who always ask, can Chinese medicine classes be conducted online? The answer is yes. I've been on Udemy since 2015. I already have more than 10,000 enrollment, 6,600 participants coming from 147 countries around the world. So these are my courses. I have about 22 courses online, reaching to all these individuals out there. So anyway, this is my sharing today. And if you have any question, you may ask. And some of the questions you asked already answered. So I look forward to see you in the class. And this is a short update I may have for you.